Hey, Harold in Greensboro, North Kakalaki. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses for your RayBan 8411, size 54, color 2509, which is the shiny black. Of course, this is the carbon fiber series. You get the carbon fiber case, the carbon fiber cloth, which has that same checkerboard as the case. Hopefully you can see all that. Little extra string, which I'm gonna keep, and this is your frame, the carbon fiber with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping, and I'm gonna do the same thing for you when I ship to you. But these are a grooved rimless where there is a string at the bottom. The carbon fiber series, it is 7 layers of carbon fiber that they cut with water jets. They epoxy the 7 layers together, which makes it very strong but very lightweight. And of course the shiny black comes with the red tips. So let me begin. Here's what I'm going to do. This is a little bit different. Normally I trace the frame, but this time I'm going to trace the lens. So I need to put 2 red dots on your lenses. I'll hold it up to the light so I can see that I'm using this graph to make sure I put a straight line on there. That looks good. Put the cap back on my pen. If you missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, I know that was bad. I know that was bad, but you'll be telling it tomorrow. Okay, so here's how I'm going to pop the lens out. Grab it by the bottom, whoop, just like that. Pull down on it. Out comes your frame. Now this is a 20-pound fishing line, a monofilament. If you sit on it, step on it, that string breaks. That's a 2-minute repair that most places do for free. But when you do that, your frame goes very limp. It's like a breakaway goal, so that's a nice thing. So now I've got your right lens with 2 dots on there. I'm going to take my little graph. Let me put a little sticker on there. Put that there. Pull the paper away, make the green side sticky. I'm going to take your lens and I'm now going to line it up where those 2 red dots, hopefully you can see there's 2 lines on the back of this graph, and I'm going to line it up with the top one. Let me hold it up to the light and make sure everything is perfect, because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to cutting lenses. I cut every pair before it ships worldwide. Okay, so now I'm going to trace your lens, put it in this little template. And actually, here's another thing I want to do. I want to memorize this shape. You are going to be Secret Agent 1458. I'm going to scan that barcode. And now 1458 pops up there, and I'm going to program it to trace the right lens. So this little stylus that pops up and traces the inside of frames is now going to go around and trace the diameter of your lens. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame, and you will receive free, clear, single vision prescription or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will be reimbursed for this purchase, whether it's prescription or not, because these are prescription grade glasses. Now it's asking me for the temple, the bridge, which is 17. It's on the back of the frame. Program that for 17. And now the shape of your lens is just about to pop up onto the computer screen. A magnified version. Pull that off, hang that back up. So if I were to minimize that, that is now the shape of your frame, that green circumference that you see. So let's put in your pupillary distance, which is 67 for both eyes, so that is going to be 33.5 a piece. I programmed that to 33.5. Let's go down here and get your lenses prepped. Your right eye is a plus 150 sphere, 150, so I'm going to turn on my dusty Marco 101 lensometer. Let me zero it out to make sure it's perfect. Is it zeroed out? Let me get everything right. Get the crosshairs in the center of the bullseye. So I'm going to take the 150, put the power drum on 150, put your lens in, rotate it until the sphere power comes in clearly. Of course, it's all sphere power. You have no astigmatism in this lens. And then I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, and let's label this one R. Speaking of which, how come all pirate movies are rated R? Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Free puns with every bad, free bad puns with every pair of glasses made. So your right eye plus 175 minus a quarter at 165, plus 175 minus a quarter. I'm going to spin the axis wheel of my dusty Marco 101 lensometer. Put your lens in. Put the power drum on plus 175. rotate the lens until the sphere power comes in clearly. Now's a good time for you to see all the dust that's on top of the lensometer that I would have cleaned off, but I'm too busy cutting glasses for people with free lenses. Okay, those are 3 dots. Let's put an L on here, which stands for not right, which is me, because I ain't right. All right. So, oops, I'm dropping stuff. I'm charging you more if I have to bend over. You know I'm getting old. All right, so here's your right lens. I'm going to put it on the platform. Your left lens, the reason why I put these dots on there is they have to be rotated in there just perfectly. If I'm off, well, I won't tell you, but you'll know. But where am I? What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, so this is a block. I like to call it Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. That's what's going to hold it in place. How's that for special effects? Ooh, spent millions of dollars making this. That looks real, doesn't it? Okay, so I need a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got a couple hanging up here. I'm going to put these on the block, on my Jenny from the block. Now this little silver button is a magnet that's on the back. It's going to do its job twice. Let me put that one there. Put the little sticky thing on there, and these are made from 3M. If you don't believe me, let me pull the sticker off and you can see 3M, made out of Minnesota. Yeah, you betcha, don't you know? All right, I told you, more bad stuff. All right, so 33.5 your pupillary distance, that is your optical center. That blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. If you were to measure vertically and horizontally, that is going to be, that's where that blue cross is at. Your eye is just inset from there, and that is your optical center, and these other 2 dots tell me that it's lined up, but your lens is spherical, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to hit that button, and now the block is applied to your right lens. Let's do the same thing now for your not right lens. Again, 33.5 for the shape of the left. You do have a little bit of astigmatism here, so I'm going to put the optical center there, and those 2 black dots line up with this orange line to tell me that it's on the right meridian. I don't want to cut it when it's like this. This is like a plane. You want the wings level. Oh, that's level enough for you, Harold. You didn't pay for these lenses, so you get what you pay for. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't joke about this. All right, so pull the sticker off. There's the 3M. Line that little magnet up so it holds its place in the arm. Hit the button, and now the block is applied to your left lens. So that is the tracer. This is the edger. It costs $40,000. I recommend everyone go out and buy one. Put it on your kitchen counter, and you won't need me anymore. You'll be able to cut your own lenses at home. So the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's the one that has that white substance on there. I can't tell you what that is under penalty of law. But it's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center with that little channel, that valley that the stylus is in, that's what's going to put the bevel onto the lens. Actually, no bevel for you. There's actually a little groove, that little sharp wheel right there. That's what's going to cut a groove into your lens so it stays inside this. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just yapping. So, magnet part 2. I'm going to place that there, your right lens, into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. But that's the second job the magnet's going to do. I'm going to wake the computer up. That is going to be the shape of your lens with that little block on there. Isn't it nice to have the little picture of the block with the magnet on there? Didn't that look nice? Good enough for family portraits. Okay, so these are polycarbonate lens, which stands for PC. I'm going to cut it on the soft cycle, which is 2 green stars. I am not going to polish the lenses. I'm going to put a slight bevel on the front of the lens, the convex surface of the lens, and I'm going to put a heavier bevel on the rear surface, concave surface of the lens. Hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. Then that clamp's going to shut. The lens is going to move up, and it's going to be traced by 2 white styluses to make sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame, in which it is. And of course it's going to go around twice, measuring the thickness at every point to know exactly and precisely where to cut the groove into the lens, so you have the best finished product where the lens is centered just perfectly. I could move it forward, I could move it backwards, but it's going to be centered in there just perfectly for the best cosmetic fit. Now in just a moment you're going to hear a grinding sound, and that's going to be my teeth because I've had too much coffee today. And then after that you're going to hear a second grinding. That'll be your lens touching down on the cutting wheel. So, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. polycarbonate is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They're also virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to .22 caliber. If they wouldn't bulletproof, could I hit it with this piece of paper and not have it shatter? See, that proves it's bulletproof. It also has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. Why you gotta be so sensitive, Harold? But anyway, that's permanent sunscreen for your eyes that never needs to be reapplied, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied if you're outdoors every few hours. So your lens is completely flat now, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out and stand it up on the counter, it would stand up on its own. It's going around and flattening every surface so the wheel can come out and cut a nice bevel on there. Cut you like a knife. A dull knife like me, but a knife nonetheless. Now out comes this arm. On it is that little spinning blade, something you look like you would find on a Dremel wheel. And it's cutting the groove where you can run your thumb down the center of that groove. That's what's going to hold it in place in this string. And if you can see, a little bit of that excess that is coming off is winding up around that spool. If you notice, your lenses have been cutting dry. Polycarbonate cuts dry where plastic and high index plastic cut wet. Now the other nice thing about your lenses, they are aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. A spherical lens is completely round in every direction and gives you that ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. So not only are your lenses thinner and lighter, but it's a much flatter curvature to fit in today's flatter curvature frames. So you can have the best finished cosmetic quality. It's still got to go on your face. You know, it's only going to be look but so nice, but I'm going to, you know, it's good. I'm going to have the glasses looking as nice as possible. The rest is up to you, Harold. So it's going back down onto the flattening wheel just to rough off any rough edges that may be there from when the blade was cutting on it. If you've noticed, water has begun splashing on the lens to wash away any optical debris, any optical sawdust, if you will. It's like being in the car wash. Working at the car wash. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, we both from the 70s. We remember that movie. Now, if you notice, that wheel has come back out, and now it's putting what's known as the safety bevel. There's another little grinding wheel, and it is smoothing out the front surface of the lens, the convex surface, before moving over and smoothing out the concave side of the lens, which sits closest to the face. Convex and concave, and that concludes your vocabulary lesson of the day. But you will be tested on it later, so I hope you're taking notes. So in just a moment, the door is going to open. I predict I can open this door with my mind. Look at that. Whoo! Okay. So everyone out there that believes in telekinesis, raise my hand. Alright, so I'm going to hit that button. That opens up to Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Pull that out. Okay, I'm not supposed to call it Chuck. How about Charlie? Thank you, Charlie. Now, let's go ahead and start cutting your left lens, the unright lens. Let's put that in there. Thank you, magnet. Hit that over to L. Hit the green start button with my finger. I'm supposed to be using my stylus. You know, this costs $40,000. This tool costs $1. This stylus was $40,000. But again, the lens is being traced. This time it's tracing the left side of the lens to make sure it's large enough to fit into the frame. And of course, measuring the thickness at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place cut the bevel on the lens so it is centered best inside the frame. Now, this block is no longer needed. I'm going to go ahead and take that one off. Pull off the little sticker. I'm going to use my thumb to get off the rest of this optical sawdust, if you will, and just drop that onto the floor. My wife hates it when I do that, but that's right, I'm talking about you, honey. But the reason why I drop it on the floor is that it fools people. If someone comes over, it makes it look like I've been working. Always keep a dirty floor. You'll fool people with that. Even if you haven't got any work done that day, you can just point to the floor. Look, I've been working. Okay, so everybody wants to know how to pop this lens into the frame. The million-dollar question. You've heard that saying, you got to have the right tool for the job. That tool, a little piece of ribbon for wrapping presents. So, I'm going to tuck it in. There's a little groove on the top of the frame that will host this bevel here that my fingernail is going in. I'm going to tuck that there first. Get everything lined up. And if you're ever at a dinner party and this happens to someone's glasses, you can play MacGyver and just stand back and say, hey, I got this. Just need a little piece of ribbon. So it's folded in half because I'm going to grab that string there. Fold it in half so I can grab both sides. Now I start at the outside corner first. Get it on that and then move towards the nose. And when you hear the snap, come on now. When you hear the snap, all right, it's fighting me. Hang on, let me make sure that I got it lined up. I'm too busy yapping. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. Start at the nose. Now when you hear the snap, the frame broke. No, the string is in there. To get this out, I put my finger on that string and then I slide that out and we are in there. So let's go ahead and read the prescription of the right lens, although this one's a piece of cake. Very easy prescription until you get the bill. Very expensive, very expensive. No, your lenses are free. So I'm going to read the prescription off the right eye and I'm getting plus 150. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, starting at 0 and going up from there. 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4, 150, 175. Without your glasses on, everything is much too small in real life, so there is a plus sign. Your lenses magnify 6 steps. Now you have no astigmatism in your right eye, it is completely spherical. Your left eye, you need 7 steps of magnification to get everything the correct size. You only need 1 step of astigmatism correction. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. Everyone freaks out when they hear that word and it really doesn't mean anything. So this first number makes everything the right size. Astigmatism is what makes everything blurry or have fuzzy edges. That's why 6s and 8s look alike if you have high amounts of astigmatism, or the letters P and F. So think of astigmatism correction as the fine-tune knob. We're going to turn that knob to 165. We're going to start at 0, which is a straight line. 0 over here, 180 being over on the right. We're going to turn that knob past 90 to about 165, very close to the 180. Now these first numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180, and it really doesn't mean as much. It just tells us where to turn that knob. Since you're old school, we're about the same age. You remember the old car radios that had the red light on there when you got the radio reception? Great. You go around a curve in the mountains around the country, that red light starts to flicker and you get a little static. You turn that knob and that bright light comes on bright and red and the music sounds crystal clear. Old Marvin Gaye. You remember used to ride around listening to Marvin Gaye? Shoot, me and you probably still do. Who am I kidding? But we're just going to turn that knob to 165 to make everything nice and clear. As clear as it can be for guys our age. So where are we at? Where are we at? Alright, water's dripping. The machine looks like it's crying because it's been listening to my bad jokes. But speaking of car radios, did you hear about the 2 antennas that got married? The ceremony was just average, but the reception was great. Hey, you know, the clown's got to have fun while he's at work too. It's not all just cutting eyeglasses. Anytime the clown gets to laugh, that's a bonus. All right. Hey, I opened that door with my mind again. Speaking of stuff I can do with my mind, I can melt ice with my mind. It just takes a couple hours, but I can do it. Oh, I miss my calling. I miss my calling. Don't worry, I won't quit my day job. All right, I'm gonna pull that sticker off. Let me run my thumbnail around here. Get all the schwarf off your lens. Look at that. Look at that. All Mel Brooks fans out there, I'd say, may the schwarf be with you from Spaceballs, but it ain't gonna be with you because I'm gonna drop it and leave it on the floor. Come on, we covered that. We talked about that, don't you remember? Okay, what to do with your frame? What to do? Here it is. Okay, let me get, here's your paperwork. So, grab the frame. Let's pop out your left lens, one of which it says RayBan. I'm going to grab my little string. Let's go ahead, my ribbon I should say. I'm going to get your lens lined up just perfectly. Tucked in. Grab the string with the strap. Start at the outside corner and then work my way towards the nose. You heard the snap that time. Put the string on the lens, pull that out, and we're good to go. You see how I did that? When you're watching, you see how I did that there? That's how you do it. Okay, so let's put your left lens in. We still should be at 165, that fine-tuned knob. Let's check the power. We're getting plus 175. Remember, a quarter, 50, 75, 1, 1 and a quarter, 150, 175, 2. So one tick mark away from 2. Let's check your astigmatism correction. And we're at plus 150. Remember high school algebra? You add the unlike signs together. Yeah, me either. No one remembers high school algebra. Well, let's think of today's terms. If you had $1.75 and someone borrowed 25 cents, you would have plus 150 left over. Plus 150. So that is made perfectly. Let's check your pupillary distance, which is 67. I'm going to flip the card around. Put the 0 against my thumb on your right lens, and when we read it on the left lens, we're getting 67. So that is made perfectly. I couldn't make that any better if I'd made it myself. Now, here's the point in every video while I'm cleaning your lenses, although there's no charge to leave those red dots on there. But when you get these in the mail, there's a very small chance, and of course free shipping anywhere in the United States, but there's a very small chance that these could be either too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no different. And I'll show you in just a moment, but that's why 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I have one ear that is higher than the other, or is it lower? I can't remember. But when I press down on mine, there is a wobble. Flip these over, press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do, and the temples are not askew like that. Same amount of tension on each spring hinge. So if anyone has any questions about what I can or can't do, or why I'm so silly, it's the coffee. It is the coffee talking. But just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Harold in Greensboro, North Kakalaki. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses for your RayBan 8411, color 2509 in the 54 eye size. The 2509, believe it or not, is called the shiny black. That's because the front of the frame is shiny black with the carbon fiber temples and the red tips. So that is that, and I hope you enjoyed watching as I got silly and everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.